The news you need starts right now, only on Fox Montana.
Severe turbulence sends 5 people to the hospital during a flight traveling from Denver to Billings. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Emily Scarlett. The FAA is now investigating the flight with 114 people on board. The captain of United Airlines Boeing 737 had apparently declared a medical emergency as they approached Billings. Reporter Katie Chin tells us one flight attendant is still being treated for her injuries. Here's the latest from Billings.
We hit some crazy turbulence, really. It shook us left and right a couple times, and then right after that, it just dropped us. It happened so fast, it's not like what you'd expect where normal turbulence, you feel your stomach tickle a little bit, but this one just happened so fast, it just threw you up. So it dropped and you just stayed, and you just heard a big boom.
Joe Frank didn't have his seatbelt on, and when the plane dropped, he flew up out of his seat and hit his head. He says the turbulence hit over Wyoming right before the plane began its descent into Billings. Frank was returning from spending Valentine's Day with his mom in Texas. He says right after the drop, over the intercom, flight attendants could be heard saying a crew member was injured in the back of the plane, and they told people to stay in their seats.
Right after you hear that, you hear, "Where's my baby?" And some dad, a row back in an aisle over from me, lost his infant. I'd say no older than 4 months. And the guy behind me yells, "It's right here." I look behind me, and the baby's sitting there, we're laying there on its back in the empty seat.
Laurel Lindy sat towards the front of the plane. She and her son Grant were traveling back to Billings from football camp.
It was pretty traumatic, very surreal. Everything happened so quickly. We're talking about a 5-second time frame. There was a man in front of us that literally hit the roof with his head and kind of landed on the other side of the aisle. There were lots of screaming, stuff flying everywhere that was in the front pockets and articles that people had to themselves.
Kevin Plone with the Billings Logan Airport says they don't usually see issues like this, but flying in extreme winds can cause turbulence.
The emergency aircraft is on a 3-mile final. Next aircraft will in.
We don't have these that often of this magnitude. We get medical calls probably 2 or 3 or 4 times a month. Someone's having a heart attack, someone can't breathe. There's just a number of things. You get that many people flying across the country.
These passengers say they are relieved to be back on the ground.
Yeah, just kind of lucky that was the only one that happened. Also, I think it's pretty lucky that more people weren't injured on the plane. So definitely the most important thing when you're on any plane is to keep your seatbelt fastened. They're not just saying it for the fun of it.
It's made you think like, wow, I'm really grateful for your life flash before your eyes, really. You don't know what's going to happen. So you sat there and thought for the rest of the flight. And I'm probably not the only one that day. You're like, wow, you just sit back and you look at life totally different.
Also tonight, a man accused of severely beating his girlfriend's 2-year-old son 1 year ago is found guilty in Great Falls District Court earlier today. Riley Charlotte Whitworth has been found guilty on 3 charges, including aggravated assault on a minor, and criminal endangerment. After the child was brought to the hospital, police arrested Whitworth and the child's mother, Alexis Paul. Documents describe the toddler as having life-threatening injuries along with severe abdominal trauma and bruising. Charlotte Whitworth claimed that the child had fallen down a flight of stairs, but a surgeon testified that the likelihood of those injuries occurring from that sort of fall were extremely unlikely. Prosecutors are thrilled with today's verdict, and even more so that justice is being served for the young victim.
Most of all, I'm glad that the child victim is alive and healthy, and the jury saw that this case warrants accountability, even though the child's going to be fine.
Alexis Paul, who is also being charged for the incident, is still awaiting sentencing. She has pleaded guilty to 1 count of felony child endangerment. Now moving into weather, Chief Meteorologist Ted King is here with a first look at our forecast. So those winds are calming down a bit, and looks like the temperatures are coming down too.
Yeah, that's right. The winds are calming down overnight anyway, but they'll be picking up again towards morning. It'll be another breezy day tomorrow, and oh yeah, those temps will be tumbling in the 7-day forecast, and I'll have that for you in just a little while. First, let me show you this. These are issued by the National Weather Service. We have the graphic for you. This is where you see the red, that's where a high wind warning is in effect until 6 o'clock tomorrow, and the yellow is where a high wind watch is in effect. Also, winter weather advisories in the brown color. There are also avalanche warnings where you see the purple color, and that's for until further notice. And those winter weather advisories are until noon tomorrow. And there you see some action right on the other side of the Rocky Mountain front. That upsloping going on. As soon as that wind down slopes, the faucet is shut off, so to speak, and made it up to the mid to upper 40s today. Right now, up to 41 in Great Falls, 42 in Helena. Winds are cranking away out there right now, and with that wind chill, with the mild temperatures, not too tough to take. Feeling more like the low to mid 30s, and I'll have that 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit. Emily?
Thank you, Ted. Senator John Tester lending his ear to local postal workers in Great Falls today. Senator Tester dropped by Great Falls to listen to the difficulties that affect today's postal workers. Some issues raised to the senator include shipping delays due to underfunded post offices and some closures. Armed with new understanding, the senator plans to go back to Washington and take a good look at the American Postal Service.
So what do we need to do going forward? We need to take a look at some of the things that have really made a negative hit on the standard delivery and fix them so that it works. You know, a lot of folks out there think the Postal Service has gone the way of the Pony Express. Well, it hasn't. It is very important.
Also present at today's event, newly sworn in Senator John Walsh. According to Senator Tester, both he and Senator Walsh plan to fight for the rural postal workers, which during any federal cuts tend to be the first to be let go. Also hearing public comment today, the Montana Supreme Court, they're now taking recommendations for the replacement of former Justice Brian Morris. The Judicial Nomination Commission is overviewing the process and is seeking the public's input on the 15 attorneys who applied for the appointment. Public comment will be taken until March 19th. The commission will then have 30 days to give 3 names to Governor Steve Bullock, who will then choose the replacement. Morris resigned from his position to become a U.S. District Judge here in Great Falls. The U.S. Department of Agriculture recalls nearly 9 million pounds of beef products because the meat was not properly inspected. Tonight, Fox Montana's Brittany Wright explains how this recall might affect consumers right here in Montana.
Nearly 9 million pounds of beef were recalled after it was not inspected properly by Rancho Feeding Corporation, a Northern California-based company. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says the establishment processed diseased and unsound animals, meaning the meat is unfit for human consumption.
This is not good for our industry as a whole. We hate to see this sort of thing. This was meat that was not inspected. This isn't meat that was necessarily, that they know has some kind of bacteria.
A wide range of products are listed in the recall, including packaged ground beef to Hot Pockets. All the products were produced and shipped between January 1st, 2013 and January 7th, 2014.
We had to pull some Philly cheesesteak Hot Pockets this morning. None of the meat department stuff was recalled. We don't carry those.
Herbold says his store is informed immediately whenever there is a recall on any products.
And we get a recall email, and usually our corporate supervisor will say this wasn't our product, we weren't affected by it, or we were. And if that's the case, we just pull it. Depending on what the instructions are, we either destroy it or we send it back for credit.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture is currently investigating the company. A written statement provided by the USDA says, quote, "The plant is currently shut down and the Food Safety and Inspection Service Administrator has directed an immediate and thorough examination of the firm's practices, procedures, and management. The USDA has not received any reports of illness related to the use of the products." In Bozeman, Brittany Wright, ABC Fox, Montana.
President Obama proposing a new plan to address climate change by tightening regulations on America's big trucks. The measure is aimed at reducing carbon emissions and improving fuel efficiency, but Republicans call it another example of the president overreaching his executive authority by going around Congress. President Obama wants to put a dent in carbon emissions by requiring new fuel standards for America's heavy-duty trucks. The president is directing the Environmental Protection Agency and Department of Transportation to come up with new ways to improve fuel efficiency in trucks by March 2016. The president does not need congressional approval to achieve his newest climate plan, and in his second term, he openly challenged Congress to break through partisan gridlock to get legislation to his desk. If not, he says he'll do it alone.
I'm eager to work with Congress wherever I can, but whenever I can act on my own to expand opportunity for more Americans and help build our middle class, I'm going to do that.
The move angers Republicans who say the president is overstepping his bounds, from delaying parts of the Affordable Care Act to raising the federal minimum wage, all without going through Congress. The Great Falls Police Department unveiling a brand new squad car today, and as our own Joe Biega reports, the new ride is for their Citizens Volunteer Program.
Now that it's got all the new striping on, it's going to be easily recognizable in the community, and people won't wonder, hey, what's that car doing out there? Well, now you know.
After one successful year, the Great Falls Volunteer and Police Service Program, or VIPS for short, are proud to announce a brand new patrol car of their very own.
The GFPD launched a volunteer program last March to augment the officers and to have community members be ambassadors to Great Falls from the department.
Similar to the relationship of a hall monitor and a school teacher, these volunteers can actually help by informing police officers of crimes and can even have your car towed as well.
Primarily, there are eyes and ears out there, and they're additionally involved in our abandoned vehicle program, out identifying vehicles and taking care of stickering some of those. This program is going to expand, but we're going to start slow and then build accordingly.
Police Chief David Bowen says these volunteers are an immense help when it comes to keeping our community safe.
I knew that if we opened up the department, allowed people in the community to come join us and help make a difference in the community, we would see tremendous results. And this is part of that, and I really think it's wonderful.
And today, with some financial assistance from the community, VIPS has a new patrol car just like our badged officers to help become more recognized around town.
Well, this is our new patrol vehicle, so you'll see that around. Through NeighborWorks and Boys and Girls Club of Cascade County, we were able to fund this, and so we think it looks pretty slick.
The Great Falls Volunteer and Police Service currently has 46 volunteers. With this more recognizable vehicle, they hope to meet a goal of 75 volunteers by the end of the year. In Great Falls, Joe Biega, ABC Fox, Montana News.
And if you're interested in joining the volunteers in their police service program, you must be 18 years or older and be able to pass a background check. You can ask for an application through messaging the Great Falls Police Department on their Facebook page, which is now listed on your screen. So it's a nice gesture for people to volunteer their time to sort of give police extra eyes.
Yeah, you know, that's right. It's a very nice car, but as nice as it is, it's one I'd never like to ride in the back of myself.
Well, that's probably a good thing,
yeah, that's a very good thing. But anyway, how about the wind today? It was cranking away.
Yeah,
once
not
again.
too bad.
Surprise, surprise. And it'll be breezy again tomorrow, and there'll be more mountain snow, and the temperature's going to do the tumble thing later in the week. Tell you about that right after this.
We get an early peek at Angelina Jolie's work behind the scenes of a new drama. The Lego Movie is still at the top of the heap, and SI celebrates a half century in tonight's Entertainment Update. Sports Illustrated magazine is celebrating 50 years of its swimsuit edition with a special anniversary issue featuring a mix of modeling rookies and icons, including America's favorite bathing beauty, Barbie. The bikini-packed pages hits newsstands next Tuesday. Devo guitarist Bob Casal's death was announced by brother Gerald Casal, also a founding member. Devo formed in 1972 along with lead singer Mark Mothersbaugh, but it wasn't until their hit Whip It and the accompanying music video that the group rocketed to international fame. Bob Casal was 61 years old.
If you can take it, you can make it.
The first look trailer for Angelina Jolie's new drama Unbroken is out. The film is about the true story of Luis Zamperini, a U.S. Olympic runner who survived World War II after becoming a prisoner of war. It's scheduled to hit theaters December 25th.
What are you doing?
The Simpsons are jumping on board the Lego bandwagon. Airing May 4th, the Fox Hits 550th episode will feature the animated family as Lego characters, searching for a way out of their world of bricks before getting stuck there forever.
And you are right.
And the Lego Movie remained the #1 film at the box office, making another $48.8 million. Coming in second was Kevin Hart's R-rated comedy About Last Night with $27 million, followed by the RoboCop remake with $21.5 million. And that's your entertainment update. You know, I thought of the Lego movie as a kid movie. It was my nephew's very first trip to the movie theater. But, you know, people around here are like, I can't wait to see the Lego movie.
Oh, yes, definitely. And my old roommate back in Helena, big movie guy, was telling me, Derek, you got to go see it. One of the best movies that you'll see. So
I've heard really good things about it. Derek Opina joins me now for sports. Derek, we got some basketball updates tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Emily. The Bobcat women are barely hanging on to the final spot for the conference tournament in the Big Sky standings. So we'll have an update from them in Bozeman. Plus, the Frontier Conference standings are getting crazy. No telling who is going to play who next week, but we hear from the Saints to see how they're prepping for their last 2 games of the season. So don't go anywhere because Fox Montana Sports is back right after this.
That's all we have for tonight. Be sure to switch on over to ABC for the 10 o'clock news. Dan Quartz will have that for you. Thanks for watching.